Why don't we sell a product, instead of trying to find the best product, why don't we try to find a good product that will help clients? Because it's not about the product, it's what it can do for other people. I mean, if we go by your law, you can't do it, you can't make it. And what I realized, and I had this in one of my speeches, that dream killers, people who go after your dreams, dream killers, people who go after your dreams, they don't just tell you it's not going to work. Nope, that's not how dream killers work. That's not how naysayers work. Here's how they work. They're like stealth. Do you know what I mean? It's not what they say, it's what they don't say. Like they'll say things like, I mean, you present your idea and they'll go, yeah, I get, yeah, I mean, it could work. And then you see that, you hear that, and then you start doubting yourself. Then you ask somebody else their opinion. And they go, yeah, I've just never seen anybody do it that way, so maybe it'll work. Try it. And then you're like, you start doubting yourself. You ever have that? People just start like, again, they're not trying to kill your dream, but what they're saying is not helping you. And part of it is you're asking the wrong people, but that's another topic. How can I offer my recruiting services to companies? I'm not getting replies from cold emails, and companies don't always pick up the phone, especially these days. Sam, nobody picks up the phone these days. It's really hard to just do, if you're just doing cold emails, I think that's one of your biggest problems. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, okay, Sam? I'm saying, think about it, but I'll give you the short answer. In the academy, I have something called predictable prospecting, right? Which is how to prospect. And I really talk about how to write scripts to leave in the voicemail and how to write emails to be more effective. But here's the one big tip, and I hope you do this already, is that I wouldn't try to contact just any company. I'm sure you have, I hope, like a market niche or a market segment that you're going after. And so part of what I teach in the courses is I talk about you got to leave something that industry leader values. Your recruiting services, now you have to assume they might be using somebody else already. So what makes you special? What makes you different? Why would I switch over to you? So if in your messaging, you can say something like, say, for example, I always recommend leaving several voicemails, right? And I walk you through that process. But let's say you had to leave the first voicemail. And you say, hey, my name is Sam Amber. I work with companies in the da-da-da industries that you're currently in. One of the toughest challenges they have is fill in the blank. Because of that, here's what we come up with. So one problem that may be in this industry might be that they hire somebody but they're not the right fit and they spent a lot of money, because that's their real pain, right, Sam? The real pain is that they hire somebody, they don't work out for 3 or 4 months. Well, that's a lot of money invested. And so all of a sudden they're losing out. But if you can show that you're better at recruiting because you're better at screening and you can shorten the learning cycle and you can find the most effective people so they don't have a high churn, then maybe they'll listen to you. So if you can structure those type of messages, that's where I would start. So maybe even if you're sending out cold emails, maybe the messaging isn't correct, but I would get on that phone and I would have scripts for at least 3 voicemails I would leave. Again, check out the predictable prospecting system, and there's some great stuff in there, man. There's some good stuff in there that might help you. Kevin O'Leary, is that right? Kevin O'Leary, right? He was doing an interview, and he was talking about how he goes in to assess companies when he's going to buy them. And so, thank you, Reza. And to buy companies. And so one of the things he talked about, he says, look, here's one of the equations you always have to keep in mind. As long as your cost of acquiring a client is less than your customer lifetime value, this is a good deal. And it was so simple. You know how sometimes the best ideas are so simple. It's like sometimes we overcomplicate our world in terms of selling, marketing. And so let's not be binary about things. Oh, this one's better than that. That one's better than that. No, there's no such thing. There are no absolutes in selling. What I try to do, and my friend here is also doing, is that, like Leonardo, you try to grab what? You try to grab the best of the best, and everybody has something to offer. Your job is to figure out what fits for your selling style and what would make you comfortable and what strategies work. And then you're going to try some work, some don't, and you keep modifying it. So again, ZMOT is the 0 moment of truth. So the 0 moment of truth is that the first time you experience a product is not when you experience a product. The first time you experience a product is wherever you experience it the first time. So in that case, they were talking about if you're watching television, that's a television, I guess, or radio or TV. So if you get a piece of advertisement and you hear it, that's your ear, you hear it for the first time, that's the 0 moment of truth, right? And then when you go to the product, you go to the aisle in the store and you see the product, that is the second moment of truth, right? And then when you consume the product, that is your third moment of truth, right? And hopefully that experience is consistent or you'll recommend it to other people. That's kind of what it means. So there's a paper, if you go online, you type in ZMOT, Google, it's a free report. It came out a few years ago, but the principles in that paper are just so good that you'll like that. Hopefully you were able to see that. I forgot to pull the comment down. How can I activate a client that has purchased before but has gone dormant or does not respond to any emails or calls? David, by the way, that is one of the strategies I talk about in my upcoming book is how do you activate, which I think is a great strategy, David, is how do you activate dormant customers? The key question is, how long have they been dormant? You know, if you're telling me 3 years, well, that's another story. But if they bought after 6 months and they go dormant and they won't return your calls, then something's wrong, right? I would think something's wrong. And so I would look at why they wouldn't respond. That would be my first question. Why aren't they responding? Because if I know what they bought, and I have this in the book that's coming up, the upselling book, is that I want to actually upsell them or cross-sell them on something else. But if they're not responding, maybe there wasn't a relationship there to begin with, and that's an issue, right? And so, but I would also put them on, my suggestion immediately would be, I would put them into my CRM and there would be a cadence. Every month or every 3 months, there'd be something going out to them personalized, not blasted out in a newsletter, something personal. Hey, this is Victor, left you a call last week. Don't really want to sell you anything. Just want to check in to see how you're doing. I'm reaching out to all my customers that I haven't touched in a while, and I hope you're doing well. Take care. Boom, that would be message one. Again, it could be the next month. Hey, this is Victor Antoni again. Just sent you a $5 Starbucks card. I want you to have a cup of coffee on me in case you're mad at me, you know, or something to maybe add some humor to that. You know what I mean? So, David, if you don't take it so seriously, maybe they won't take it so seriously. This is assuming that you didn't do anything wrong and they're not mad at you. And maybe by having a more relaxed tone about how you reach out, you know, maybe you can actually begin to connect with them. I would also suggest that you triangulate a bit, which means that you're sending them an email every month or so, but you're also keeping an eye on them on social media, whether it's Facebook or let's say LinkedIn or maybe even Instagram, whatever platform you think they're on, Twitter. And then maybe begin to not ask for something like in a meeting or something, just reach out. Just, hey, sent you a message last month. Hope you got it. Hope you're doing well. Take care. Don't ask for anything. And maybe these multiple touch points over the next 2-3 months, maybe if you're consistent, might get you some callbacks. And so it's a good call. I mean, I love that question. So you said 5 months. So yeah, so 5 months, David, they should be calling you back, man. Do you know what I mean? I would be worried if somebody doesn't return my call after 5 months. I'm like, why? So either they didn't like what I gave them, I sold them rather, or I'm being too aggressive on my side. It could be one of those two. But keep in mind, the last 2 months have been really difficult. Do you know what I mean? So you have to cut yourself some slack, and I'm going to cut you some slack as well, if I can, right? Because it's been really tough. And I think the last 2, maybe even 3 months, people were like, this business is just going, people were, at the beginning of March, people were like optimistic here. Then within 2 weeks, it's down. So maybe they would have contacted you, but the last 2 months may have prevented them from doing so. So that's the other X factor, right? The variable that we don't know about. So yeah, so that might be it. Again, that's in the Sales Velocity Academy. Check it out. Thank you for bringing that up, man. Academy is a steal at $30 a month. That's what I say. And like I said, it's amazing that if the one skill you need to develop, it's selling. If you can sell, you'll always have a job. I mean, think about it. I mean, just really think about that for a second. And then my man, Doug Lehman. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate that, man. Doug's awesome. Doug's a video marketing guy. Look him up, DougLehman.com. Shutesh gave me one. Bam, who's this? Victor. So you're saying that voicemails are superior to cold calls or cold emails in getting responses? No, I'm not. I would never. Okay, Sam, you got to know me, man. I don't believe in absolutes. I don't believe in one is better than the other because it's all about trying them out, right? And then sometimes some people are more comfortable leaving a voicemail. First of all, I don't want to leave a voicemail. I want to get the actual person. So that's usually the objective. I want to get the person. But if I get the voicemail, I mean, think about it. When you're hearing somebody's voice, it's like you detect not only their personality, but their tone, their sincerity, and their authenticity. So if somebody leaves a voicemail and says, hey, today and only today, you can join the Sales Velocity Academy at $29.99. Hope you'll join. You'll love it. It'll be great. If you heard that, would you return that person's call? No. But now, Sam, if they hear your tone and says, look, My name is Victor Antonio. We have something called the Sales Velocity Academy. Many companies are struggling with their sales right now, and we have a couple of programs that I think would help you and your sales team grow your sales. Give me 5 minutes of your time. I think it'll be worth it. 678, my number, whatever it may be, or something like that, right? And so if they hear the tone and they hear that content, that's what I'm saying. You got to script this out, write it out. And then what I would do is, again, the predictable prospecting, it gives you this cadence where you're going to actually call, but then you're actually going to follow up with an email as well. So I'm saying do both. Any way I can get somebody is what I'm going to do, Sam. So hopefully that answers your question, man. In the current COVID situation, what would be a good way to approach customers in B2B? Option 1, WebEx presentation. Option 2, cold call to a whole database and seek opportunities. Your views, please. It's too big, Sanget. Again, you're always killing me with the big questions. The thing is, look, this is part of the storytelling piece. I'll tie this into storytelling. When we started in this pandemic, when things really started going bad, let's say in March, right? You said that was the time to begin reaching out to your customers to make sure they were okay. So I would have planned out ahead of time. That's, look, in the first 2 weeks, I'm going to reach out to all my customers, my top 100, let's say, right? And I'm just going to call them just to see how they're doing and just not even try to sell them something. And then I might touch base just another 2-3 weeks later just to see if anything's changed. And I'm trying to get a sense of what's changed, but I'm still not trying to sell anything. And maybe by the time I call them the third time, I said, look, I've been thinking about your problem and your situation you're in. I figured out a way that we can help you. And so I would have been doing that. That's the nurturing that people want. If you're just blasting out to everybody, it doesn't matter. I can't tell you how many emails I get on my computer here. That it's just people, you can just tell, they try to make it personal. They try to personalize the email by just putting my name on top. But when I read the body of the context, I can tell it's a canned email. They sent it to everybody. Immediately, credibility is lost. So my question to you would be, it isn't so much about how you should do it. It's more about who you should do it to. In other words, who you're contacting. If these are new clients, it's going to be tough in this time right now as we're transitioning back out of it, to really get people to interested in your product. But what if you just start connecting with people without the intent of selling and just connecting? I would start there, man. That would be my thing. Can't mimic your extrovert charisma. No, you can't. But Arvin, did you know that if you talk to my high school mates, even my elementary school, high schools, I was an introvert all through high school, like an introvert. Maybe I think high school I started coming out of it. Maybe in college is when I started really coming out of it. I guess by coming out, I'm like, hey, not that. But I go back to Toastmasters. When I started speaking in public and was forced to do that, it's like I found my voice. But if you talk to my friends, they're like, where'd that come from? By the way, people who see me today on my live streams or watch my TV show, or watch my documentary, like, where'd that come from? Because he was really quiet. I was like a mouse in high school, just a mouse. Board is very cool, no doubt. What kind of camera is needed?